Oh, it helps to have the microphone. I was thinking about how something that I miss from the past was the talks that I used to have with my friend Eric um, back in college. I think it's a rather stereotypical idea of the talks that you had in college, right? With the people that were in college and the circumstance in that age. It's one of the reasons that I feel like my daughter is and others in her demographic, her class of 2019, class of 20, have been cheated by not having the actual college experience of actually being in college. Is that chemistry of the personal connections that were going on. In my own case, I was fortunate to not be in the. Well, I wish I had been in the dorms. If I could go back and do it again, I wish I had done that. Instead, I chose to the silly idea of living in a motorhome, which actually turned into was serendipitous insofar as it led to an incredible experience of living on a beach for a number of years. But that was that was a long shot. I just got lucky that I threaded that needle and came out the other side. But Emily doesn't get that experience, not the beach, but the college experience. So when I think about it sometimes, and I wish that I could sit down and have a talk with Eric and John and Chuck and others that I used to have, I lament both lament and you know it's a funny thing to look back, right? And at the same time, though, I couldn't possibly talk with him the same way. And also part of the fluidity of the conversations we had then were a consequence of our youth and our innocence that couldn't be had again as well. So anyway, it's like longing for a fondly remembered summer. You can't have that. But there's a reason I brought this up. I was back to the book that I'm reading. I talked about this 2 days ago, the Autocrat at the Breakfast Table by Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr., the father of the Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., who became a Supreme Court justice. So if you do a search for Oliver Wendell Holmes, you'll probably get his notable his famous son rather than this gentleman. Anyway, he was reflecting. One of the things I love about this book is that it's like a grab bag of memories. It's one thing to have reflections on the past. So many of us reflect on the past, and they're just mere anecdotes of illustration, right? Just talking about what somebody said and what somebody did and how I responded and what how they countered, and wasn't the weather nice and wasn't this funny. But it's very interesting when you've got someone so yeah, what's the word? A poet, yeah, a poet and a philosopher and a lecturer, such as Mr. Holmes was, to take those anecdotes and then to dress them in the finery of well-considered language and beautiful phraseology and just the right language and vocabulary to really bring it out. It's something else. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why is this the bench but there's no Mully, it's because I sent Mully an invite, but he hasn't responded, and he hasn't responded to my text either. So maybe he's not coming. So I'll just carry on with a little bit about Oliver Wendell Holmes for just a little bit. So one of the things he said in here, so I mentioned that this book is like a grab bag of recollections, of memories, beautifully written and placed into the vehicle of description, as I described 2 days ago, of a setting of a boarding house in the 1850s, where Oliver Wendell Holmes is the lecturer who basically commands and the audience, or has court. He has court or with the audience at the breakfast table with the other boarders, the professor, the boarding school, the divinity school student, the school teacher, the mistress of the house, mistress being the woman that ran the boarding house, and the guy named John. And so he weaving the sharing of his ideas, which are really just not memories, but they're ideas born of his maturing years and experience, ideas that he then finds a vehicle of a recollection to carry that idea, and then has the discourse and the back and forth with the various boarders to reinforce it and to actually as counters to what he's trying to say. One of the things he was talking about was he was reflecting on marriage. And he said something interesting to me. See, that's a really mark of how good the writing is when I'm describing it as though he were speaking to me directly. He describes how he, in his opinion, it's not necessary to marry someone of a similar disposition when it comes to the things of the mind. Namely, someone who's interested in the same types of things that you are, which has long been something that I've thought about, because I did indeed marry someone who has absolutely no interest in in philosophy or theology or science for that matter. Really, my wife is quite happy with the more what's the right word? Just the normal things that you like, right? Like a nice TV drama, or the game that she can play on her computer, or let's go someplace fun over the weekend and have a nice meal, all in moderation and tempered with my wife's a very reasonable and practical person. She doesn't ask much of life. She works hard, and she takes care of her family. And when she's ready to relax, she likes to kick up her heels on the sofa and play a game, or watch a show, or take a nap. Now, for me, I want to dive into into ideas and explore the unknown, and wander, if not in fact, but in the mind. So how did we wind up together? How did she wind up with me, and how did I wind up with her? And how have we made it last for all these decades? And it was interesting to me when I read that Oliver Wendell Holmes said it's not important to find someone. That's not important to have someone that shares that interest with you. That there are more important things, mainly. And he didn't say this, but I'll go ahead and add what I think are the important things: are an alignment of values and life objectives. Maybe not, and it could be something as simple as career and home and things like that, and family. Not that any of those are necessarily simple, but for my wife and I, character, I think, is first and foremost. Having someone that shares the same foundational values. If you were going to chisel out our own personal 10 commandments. By the way, I was playing some Depeche Mode in the car radio the other day, and they were playing my own personal Jesus. And Yumiko was sitting next to me, and she says, "Are they saying your own personal Jesus?" And she had never heard that song. So yeah, so I have my own personal 10 commandments. When I chisel mine out, and then Yumiko chisels her out. We're going to kind of compare them. Hey, they're kind of the same thing. Hey, well, maybe that's an indication that we're going to be able to carry through life well together. Now, especially given that this idea of the romantic love model for marriage is a relatively new idea, especially in Japan, a very new idea. Really, it's more like a business arrangement historically, right? Where partners get together with disparate skills and capabilities to complement that are complementary. Maybe one's a dreamer, one's a business person, and one's as the saying goes, one's a son of a bitch, right? And those three can make a good business together. And in marriage, maybe one One is one aspires to provide, and the other aspires to provide to do something with that. The traditional model of the breadwinner and the homemaker, maybe something like that, which works quite well, seemingly in many households. Of course, it has its challenges, of course, as well. I'm also all for the love marriage, and I do indeed love my wife very deeply, and my love for her has grown over the decades. But the idea that you share those things was an interesting challenge in reading this, coming from a man in the middle of the 19th century to in a period when marriage was a more sacrosanct and permanent affair. We wasn't a matter of trying someone out through matrimony for a couple of decades or for a couple of years and then moving on when things don't suit anymore. In his time, he got married for the duration. As I was reading on, I was like, okay, well, what's he talking about? What does he mean by that? You don't have to necessarily share that interest. And what he meant was simply that and he was speaking to the people that have an interest in ideas, the people of ideas. I don't know what's a good word to describe folks like this. People who are interested in new and novel and challenging ideas. He said there's quite a large number that share that with you, in fact, around you, if you find them out. But the thing that really caught my eye was, he said, you can share that type of relationship through reading the books of those who are like that as well, which I'd never thought of before. That was a fascinating novel idea, right? That if I can't if I don't necessarily have Eric here by my side to swivel the two chairs in his dorm, close side front, face to face, and then lean in and talk and hash out ideas deep into the night. If that's not possible, I can read a book like this, or I can read something from the other authors that have caught my interest in over the years. And it's a new way to look at it. So I've got this week off. I've had this week off all week. And yesterday I did a lot of chores, cleaned the house. I took care of my daughter's car, put new windshield wiper blades on it. I did some other maintenance things with it, did some shopping, made a big batch of chili and all that. But then Yumiko asked me last night, she said, what are you going to do with your day today? And I said, I'm going to read today. And I had a really good day of reading here and there, and just found nice little seating areas. And Yumiko makes nice little seating areas here in the house, and got a lot of reading done. And while I was doing that, I was trying to keep Holmes's suggestion in mind to consider my time with him, reading his words, as some of that quality time with someone who is interested in such things. So I thought I'd share that with you. It kind of changed and flavored my way of looking at that. So I was going to say, with Mully, I was going to talk about two things. Here we go. Let's bring that up. Hide that. And I was going to say, where is it? That's not the one. Oh, that is. Oh, it's turned into the banner thing. Let me take that scroll across. There we go. I was going to talk about two things with Mully, but he's not here, so I'll just go through them myself. One, reflections on 2020. So it's the end of the year. This is the last bench video for the year. And the first thing I'll do is say my reflection on 2020. Of course, this has to be first person. Who else could I speak? How did Thoreau start Walden? He said, I fain would not talk so much of myself. Were there anybody else who I knew so well? So I'll talk about myself, my own reflections on 2020. 2020, personally, and personally, professionally, and creatively. Let's start with professionally. Professionally, certainly the most challenging year of my life, with the exception of 2018, when I lost everything and had to reboot my life through abject, absolute failure. That was a transformative event. this year has been challenging professionally as well, largely because one, I chose to take a new job at the start of the year, at the end, just at the end, but basically this week, just a year ago, at the end of the year, that was a step up and a step forward, and I knew would demand new things from me and more things from me than ever before. Little did I know that COVID-19 would only put that on steroids and just amplify and enhance the requirements. So 2020 has been a very challenging year professionally. I would say that it has aged me professionally. It's certainly made me more desirous of the coming retirement years. Looking forward to that, and there are times when I really feel, I wonder if I'm up to the challenge, but I continue to work at it. I think I can pull this off. We'll see. 2021 is also going to be a challenging one for me as well, for the same reason. But I am going to do my best. So that was the professionally. Personally, 2020 has been a year of winding down in a way, but that doesn't have the right tone. Winding down sounds like being done with something. It's more like feeling my age, feeling the and Oliver Wendell Holmes talks about this in Autocrat at the Breakfast Table as well, which was very comforting to me to realize that it wasn't just me, but this is the time when things are starting to wind down. It is the autumn of my life, and this is the heavy autumn part, right? There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and the beginning is when you're ramping up into the autumn of life. The middle is when you accept it and off you go, and then the end is when you start to become old, really old, the winter of your life, and it's making that transition, as Oliver Wendell Holmes describes. Everybody knows an old baby when they've seen one, and I'm currently midway through the autumn period. And what that means is that I feel the creative juices beginning to wind down. Not so much in terms of energy, but in terms of the actual content. Right? I mean, it's like if you're squeezing a sponge and it's just the drippings coming out, and it's like, okay, it's almost there. and that's how I feel personally, which is just fine, because frankly, it's been a lot of work over the last 5.5 decades of trying to tame this gray matter between the ears, and I'm glad if I can get a bit of a rest from that, and enjoy my home and my family. And more and more, I spend time at home, and I'm discovering, maybe I'm beginning to finally realize the admonition of Ralph Waldo Emerson, which was that the wise man stays at home. Artistically, it's a matter of cleanup and edit, right? It's a matter of continuing to work on edit, the going alone, adding more art to it, and then I think I've completed all of the writing part for The Good Life. And that book's a big book. It's closing in on 350 pages, and I think maybe it's more than that. And Going Alone is only like 300, so it's bigger than Going Alone. Not that means anything, but my experience has been that in the process of editing, some things grow, some things shrink, some things get more tighter, and I learned a lot of lessons from editing Going Alone, and I've transferred those lessons into The Good Life. So I'm far ahead in terms of the composition, the actual formatting of the book, but in terms of the actual content, wow, it's going to take me another 3 to 4 years just to edit that thing. So The Good Life's got a lot of work yet to do. So creatively, and the muse she's basically gone dry. But I know that it's not so much that my mental faculties are winding down in that case, as much as the circumstance and setting that I need to have the muse to speak to me has. I'm not putting myself in those circumstances. So, and if I did, I would probably hear her speak again. So that is it. I talked about my 2020 professionally challenged, personally winding down, artistically wrapping up. Does it sound like I'm putting starting to finish things up? It does, and I think that is quite accurate. Yeah. Comment here. Inglenese. Hi, Kurt. Is Mully going to stand you up again? He might. We'll give him a call in just a second, see if he answers. Inglenese in the end of an era, Kurt. Maybe the end of an era, but maybe, well, yeah, it is. But I am finding it's kind of a change. I'm reading more than ever, and it's like now I'm shifting my mind from exploring the unknown, literally going into wild places, and shifting now to trying to make friends with the types of authors that I love so dearly and would love to learn more from them, learning more. Let's see. The other topic was, hold on. Plans for 2021. My plans for 2021, let's do it again professionally, personally, and artistically. I don't think I need to say anything because I think it was part and parcel of what I just said. Professionally, try to work hard, try to complete my goals, try to stay on top of things. Personally, I will add something different to that. Personally, I want to the good life is, a whole bunch of principles and objectives aimed towards living well there. And I've added some things since in 2020 that I wouldn't have had there, mainly because of the challenge that came about of my challenging job and COVID and the like. That basically the challenges I've had the pieces that I added relate to slogging through difficult times, for lack of a better term, suffering, how to suffer well, which I've got some vehicles of thought and of practice, and I've written some things, and I've had Emily do some art, and I'm enjoying my work on that. I would like to spend more time in 2021 addressing that. I think having pain in life is something that is very common for just about everybody, and I'm no different. I've had pain in life through various things throughout my life. It tends to usually be a consequence of my restless nature, getting myself out of safe and sane situations into new and challenging situations, and then suffering as a result. So if sometimes, but there's one principle in the book called the risk of avoiding risk, and I know that if I had not done that I would have sizzled away in the frying pan, and I would have avoided the flames of the fire, but sizzled away in the frying pan nonetheless. But anyway, learning how to better manage that and being on the flame, in the frying pan or the fire, is something I'm curious about and working on. I will work on that. That'll be the personal front for 2021, and also that'll be the artistic front as well. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and let's give Mully a call. Let's see if he's around. Hey, hold on. Hope he's okay. No answer.
Hey there.
Hey, Jim. Hey there. How you doing? I'm good. I'm online. I was just checking to see if you're going to join us.
I sure will.
Oh, okay. I sent you the thing here just a while ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Be there in a few minutes.
Okay. See ya. Bye bye.
Okay.
Well, and Emily's coming home, so maybe let's haul Emily in here for a second, and I think I just saw her. We'll wait for Jim to join. So good. I'm glad to hear he's okay because he hadn't responded earlier. There go the dogs. Emily, come here. Let's ask Emily what her plans are for her reflection on 2020 and plans for 2021. Come here. I'm doing a live. I'm going to ask you. I'm waiting for Mully to join, and I'm going to ask you. I'm doing two topics. Reflection on 2020. What are your thoughts about 2020?
2020?
Yeah, the year 2020 in hindsight. Now speak to the mic.
This is just okay. Like, like, what do you mean?
Like how was the year? I mean, if 2020 was like I said that it was a very challenging year for me personally, professionally, and I'm getting older and the like. What did you think? When you look back on 2020, how would you describe
I
it?
think it just went by really fast. Like, it was just March like a second ago.
Is that because of quarantine?
Because of quarantine and because every day just felt like the same. So it just went by really fast. And school was hard. Like, everything was online. So I struggled a little bit. I still got like decent grades, but it was harder than usual.
You worked really hard.
I did. I'm not the best person. I'm not the best at doing school. I'm not the best at studying. So I already do have to try harder than everybody else in like in-person school. So when it became online and I had to teach myself stuff because none of my professors were actually teaching, they were just giving us homework and grading them. That was all they were doing. When that happened, I had to work extra hard to stay on track.
Because so you weren't benefiting from lectures. You really weren't getting lectures, just assignments.
No, yeah. They just gave us a textbook. They gave us a YouTube video to watch and just said, good luck.
Wow.
So I already had to work extra hard like in person, but now it was online. It was even harder for me.
I was mentioning earlier that I think your generation and the class of 2020 got screwed by, you basically got shortchanged on the end of high school. You not so much. You made it to the end, and then you're not experiencing the real college experience.
Yeah, but me, I'm better off. Like people like Chris, he's my boyfriend. Chris, he's a year younger than me. He started college this year online, and then he's already in a 4-year university, so he can't really change schools. I'm in community college, so I can put my college like on hold, and I can wait until everything opens up again and then apply to a university and have that experience. But people like Chris, who's already committed to a 4-year school and who are like freshman, sophomore, like they're not going to get anything out of it. They can't put it on hold.
I mean, for me, one of the big things about college was the experience of being on campus and making friends and the community and all that. And you guys get none of that.
Yeah, well, but like I said, I can put it on hold. I'm in community college. I can, take my time, do classes like slowly and take fewer classes at a time and then wait a little bit. But for people like Chris and like other people in universities, they have to like do everything in 4 years. Right. Well, they don't have to, but like that's ideal for them.
They're on the track, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I do worry that you're not getting that community experience that I was thinking was so important. Now, what do you think though? Do you think though that COVID is going to change the paradigm in the future? That we're going to have a lot of people are going to choose
Mully.
This as their option? Oh, so that's that Mully in here. Here. You can hear it.
Good morning. Hon, look, it's Emily.
Hi.
Hold on. Okay. There you go. Hi, Em.
Hi.
Long time no see.
久しぶり。
久しぶりだね。Hi, Dad.
Kurt can't. Kurt can't.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Tomoko.
Hi.
I had Emily stand in for you because you stood me up.
How do I get in?
Okay.
I was just asking Emily about 2020 and the school experience. And
asking
so
Emily
that was the topic for this, was reflections of the 2020 and 20. Go ahead.
Asking Emily about what?
A reflection of 2020 and my school experience.
Okay. Continue.
I was just saying it was tough. Everything online is tough.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you know,
Darth Sepp says, wow, you're an adult now.
pretty much.
Yeah. And so I'm going to wrap up with Emmy on with another question. What are your plans for 2021?
School,
Yeah.
finish my classes, and take a little bit of break before I go to university.
Tell everybody what you're doing for your 20th the birthday.
Oh, for Seijinshiki, well, I was gonna go back to Japan and see all my friends and meet them and go back to my grandparents and do all that this year or next year, I guess. But obviously, that's not happening anymore. So instead of that, I'm renting my hoodie here, and then I'm gonna do a little photo shoot instead of having a ceremony. So I have at least something like a picture of me in that,
So
instead of a ceremony.
You're renting the kimono in Torrance, and then you're getting your hair done in Orange County, right?
Well, I'm getting my hair done there, but like I have another photographer here, so
you're gonna have to drive around the freeway in a kimono.
Pretty much.
but someone's gonna have to drive you around because your license expired, right?
That's you.
I'm driving you around.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's why I took the day off from work. That's right. See, old guy here.
Why is your license expired?
Because I'm 20 now and I got my license when I was 15.
So?
It was a 5-year license.
Okay.
So I have to get it renewed, but the DMV is closed right now, so I gotta wait till.
Okay.
I think next license it's like 10 years.
I don't
Or
know.
5.
I don't know. Maybe
Wait a
it's
minute,
like that. Yeah.
Is the
Something like
DMV
that.
closed? Is the DMV closed because of the coronavirus?
No, it was open online, I think.
Mama.
Oh, hi. It was open online for a couple of weeks, but it was the holiday season, so I think it's closed. And then
Gotcha.
it's really busy, and I don't really want to go there in person also
Yeah,
because I think they do it in
would.
person, but it's just so busy, and I don't want to be there.
Right.
So I gotta wait.
Can you renew online?
I think so, but I gotta wait in line for that. But at least I don't have to be there in person for that. you know?
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. Hey, and Yumiko's home too. Listen for the dogs. The dogs are gonna bark. Thought I saw her walk past. I think so. What do you want for dinner tonight? Oh wait, there go the dogs.
There they go.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thanks, Emily, for catching up with us and the like, and for keeping me company while waiting for Jim. So, talk to you later, sweetie.
I hear nothing. Hey, Kurt.
Hi there, Emmy. You forgot your mask. Hey there, Jim. I'm glad you're okay. You didn't respond, so I was worried about you.
You know what, Kurt? You've got me on my winter vacation schedule. Where I'm asleep at noon.
well, that'll do it. Yes, definitely.
See the mush down hair?
Yeah. Oh, that'll do it. So when do you go back to school?
January 7th.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
I go back on the 4th.
So I'm in that cycle now where I'm awake until like 5 a.m. Just doing nothing, wasting time, watching TV or playing games or doing something. And then I'm, come down here and get comfortable, eat breakfast and fall asleep. And I'm sleeping all day.
And Tomoko's got the day off too.
Yeah. Tomoko. Yeah. Today's her first day off. You know what? It was last week, Kurt.
What?
I messaged you in the morning, right? I said, I'm on my way to Shizuoka. I'll be back in time, right?
Yeah.
I came in here from Shizuoka. I came in about 11:45, 15 minutes before we were supposed to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down right here on the sofa, and Opie jumped up and sat here on my chest. And the next thing I know, my phone was ringing. It was you calling me.
Well, it's a good thing we're not dating because that was two strikes.
Man, I must have just conked right out, and I don't know why. I came in and just sat down here and fell right asleep.
Good living. That's why you deserve.
Yeah,
You
right.
deserve a good sleep.
Yeah.
Good. Hi. So you good? You enjoying the winter break? Is it cold as heck in Shizuoka?
No, it's not too bad yet. Not too bad yet. It's
You-
chilly, but it's not freezing yet.
Yeah. You having a good time? Enjoying the break?
Well, I shouldn't. It's like I said a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the coronavirus. I'm doing what I usually do. The coronavirus hasn't slowed me down any.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Any slower, I'd just be a corpse.
Well, hey, there were two things that I had on topic for tonight, and I
Okay.
already went through mine, and I just went through and I dragged Emily in and went through hers. And the first
Right.
one was, as you can see on the screen, any reflections on 2020. I went over my reflections, my 2020 from my professional perspective, from my personal perspective, and from my creative perspective. How about you? Do you have any reflections on 2020? About thoughts about it, that how it really stood, how you would describe 2020 to an alien, should they ask?
I've for the longest time I've been describing 2020 as the lost year. This is the one we're not going to get back. I hope 3-4 years down the line, maybe even sooner than that, I hope that we can look back at this and go, huh, oh yeah, I remember that. We had to stay in, everybody's wearing masks. Remember how crazy that was, I hope that comes about, that, we can get back to a normal lifestyle, but who knows?
I think of it as more of a catalyst year. I think this is the year we're going to look back and we're going to say 2020 was the year that major change happened with regard to the way that employers consider work from home, for example.
Sure.
Education from home. Whereas a change in the way people are going to consider how they're going to plan for their future. It used to be that people said that having 3 months of savings in the bank was the security blanket that you need. Well, what are we 9 months in, right? And that security blanket has evaporated 2 seasons ago for so many people. They're going to have to reconsider what it means to get through a catastrophe. We're also going to. I think we're also going to reconsider what it means to have relationships and what it takes to weather the storm of being stuck at home with the people that you think you love, and do you still love them 9 months later? All these things, and I believe that we're going to look back in the future and we're going to say that was the year that we added the reactant to the society that catalyzed all the changes that are going to be characterized Emily's generation as adult and the generations thereafter. So rather than lost, I think it's going to be the transition year so much.
Could be. I see there's this one commercial that keeps popping up on YouTube of they're talking about the year 2020 and coping with it, right? And they show this one girl just in tears. Oh, I just can't understand how we do this. And then this other guy, he's got his face in a pillow screaming, ah! Right? And I'm like, you guys know nothing about any kind of hardships if this is what's sending you to tears. We've got life too easy if this is what's causing us to scream into a pillow.
But isn't suffering a relative thing?
Yeah, I guess it is, but our generation will never understand what our parents' generation went through. And the younger generation never understand what we grew up with, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get that, but I don't know.
That's a trope that's been in play since the Stone Age, right? I mean,
sure.
You look back and there's chiseled words in Rome on the wall that said, these kids these days,
Right. Yeah, I get it. But I'm just saying that we've we probably living in the best time ever. You know,
Oh,
the greatest.
absolutely.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
greatest time ever in history, and we have to find something to complain about. You know, oh, let's. You know, we just have to put some hardship to it for some reason.
Yeah.
You know,
So
that's our
then
nature.
So then the next piece of this, so for 2020 for you, it was you characterized it as the lost year. But for you, do you want to talk about anything like personally? Were there any changes that occurred for you that like I described? You didn't get to see my part, but I described how 2020 is by far the professionally most challenging year for me, in terms of taking on a job that I really didn't know if I was up to handling, and then have that responsibility just compounded even more so. Is there anything personally, professionally, creatively, anything that was challenged or refined in any way through 2020?
Not really. I mean, you know my job. You know, it was interesting having to switch over to doing things online for a short period of time, and
Right.
I found that after the very first lesson, it was pretty interesting, Kurt. After that very first lesson, we went into it not really knowing what we were going to do
Yeah.
and how we were going to do it. And Jesus, you know, like, well, you don't know, because you don't know what it's going to be like. You don't know what the layout's going to be. You don't know, they can tell you, but until you get in there and do it, you just don't know. Right.
Right. How did it go down? How did it work? I know you can't really talk about work, but how did that first lesson go?
The first lesson was kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to figure things out, and we were on Zoom, and we had like 25 kids at home, and we're in the classroom at school.
Oh, you did it from school. Okay.
Yeah. So we were in the classroom at school, and the kids were at home, and so we had the resources of the classroom to use. But we just got into it, and once we started, it was like, oh, wait a minute. We need to mute all the kids, because if somebody makes a noise, they pop up on screen, or you can hear everybody chattering, you can hear people messing around in the background of the homes and stuff like that. So okay, now we got to mute all the kids. Okay, so we mute all the kids. Oh, well, wait a minute, we're teaching a language, and there's not going to be too much individual.
Right.
I mean, it's bad enough as it is.
It's not just a lecture.
Yeah, when you got 25 kids, it's bad enough when they're in the classroom, trying to get to each kid, but it's even worse when, oh, hold on, let me unmute you for a second. How's this work? Oh, okay. All right, go ahead. And then, they're fudging around trying to figure out how to do it on their end.
And don't you also have the parents hovering in the background? The mothers?
I didn't really notice that.
I have the reason I ask is that I have so I know some people here who are teachers, and they tell me, elementary school teachers, and they tell me that is one of the most challenging pieces, is that knowing the parents are hovering in the background, listening and taking notes.
Kurt, you know me better. You know me. A parent there just puts me up on a higher level. You know how I am. It just puts me into performance mode.
Right.
But anyway, what I found really interesting, Kurt, was after that very first lesson, then it was like, wait a minute, I'm a YouTuber. Okay, why don't I just treat this as a YouTube video? Okay, so the next time we went in, I said, okay, let's set the camera here. We got the blackboard behind me.
Interesting.
Okay,
yeah.
and I said, now you do this, and okay, now when I do this, you come in from this side. And I said, I'll sit over to the side like this, and I'll leave space. I'll leave space. Well, not really scripted, but I'll leave space for you to come in here.
Oh, okay. You choreographed it.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah, you set it all up. You planned it.
Yeah, and right. But what I did was, we have to do social distancing, so I'll be up near the camera. You get behind me.
Right.
And I'll leave this space for you, and then you can write on the board here and stuff like that. So start going that way with it. And once we started getting comfortable on what we were doing, then it just we started going back to school.
Interesting. Are you in
So-
that so are you under those circumstances? Are you no longer allowed to put your tongue in the homeroom teacher's ear?
Yeah.
You can't do that
What's that?
anymore, right? You can't put your
What?
tongue in the homeroom teacher's ear.
No, can't do that anymore.
Oh, okay. No,
Okay,
Willie.
now hold on. Now we're getting okay. One thing you can do is set the spotlight. Yeah, I know. I got that. But
That's
still,
neat.
you need to mute everybody because if you don't, you can hear them.
To me, I would camp outside the DM. Oh, someone's referring to Emily's DMV, like it was my first
Yeah.
line, like my freedom. Yep. And then Mika, I hope I'm saying that. I can relate to the cooking out. Yeah. Conking out. High performance machines need a lot of cool down time. There you go, Molly.
That's right. That's right.
Hi, Kurt and Millie. Molly, hello, of all blessing. Hello, of all blessing. X the dog Z. Is this Zoom? No, this is SteamYard. X the dog. Oh, one thing you can do is set up spotlight option to focus only on you or someone else. I got a funny story I'll tell you. When I teach, driving on the weekend, and one of my students was telling me a funny story. So they were having, I don't know if it was Zoom, or what it was, but they had it all set up, and it was high school kids. One of the boys wasn't wearing his shirt, right? He just had the camera on. It'd be you, right? That'd probably be you, the bad boy at high school. And he's sitting there, and the teacher saying, Samuel, put your shirt on. He wouldn't put his shirt on. And said, Samuel, put your shirt. Okay, then turn your camera off. So he clicked the camera off, and it changed from the picture, the video of him, to a photograph of him not wearing a shirt. he had set that up.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's a little bit of brilliance right there.
Yeah, it sounds like something I would do,
Yeah. Okay, good. So you did. That's the kind of thing I was getting at. So 2020 professionally, you got some new skills, right? In terms of finding ways to work with kids and to the homeroom and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty awesome.
And that's when I took my guitar to school and added more songs to the class and things like that. It was tough. I mean, it's not something that I would say it would take probably a good 6 months or more to really, you'd want to figure out a whole lot more things you could do. I mean, I'm sure the potential is there for something really good out of that,
Yeah.
But as it is right now, I'm glad we're back at school.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. So 2020, kind of a lost year, kind of a year, but there was some change, and there was some innovation, and some new skills were gained, and the like.
Right.
Okay.
But the one thing of 2020 that will always be the worst thing for me.
Oh, right. Yeah. No. So okay. So yeah, that's a big one. So let's talk about 2021. So I described again, professionally, personally, and creatively, and for me, I'm kind of like, and you've heard me say this before. I mean, I'm kind of a broken record, my life is winding down, right? In terms of
right.
And it really is, right? And more, I can feel it. It's like being on the Titanic, knowing that we hit the iceberg, knowing that water is flooding in, and I got 20 minutes before I'm going under the waves. So for me, 2021 is mostly about trying to tidy up the house, make sure that everything is in a state so that I can find a nice comfy place to sit in a nice warm room in the Titanic and wait it out.
Right.
So that's my plan for 2021.
I think it's still going to be
a little bit.
I think it's still going to be quite a wait, though, Kurt.
Well, at least I'm ready for it to be go, and I don't think it is. Because I think that I may live another 15 years, but mentally and the like, I'm going downhill. It is a increasing. I'm noting, for example, the increasing amount of time that I tell the same stories over and over. right? There's nothing new happening in life. Life is
Right.
becoming a looking in the rear view mirror rather than charting the route ahead. Also, my ability to retain new information. I read books, and I'm having to ask Siri to tell me the definition of words over and over, and it's the same damn word, the whole thing.
Right.
So anyway, not to belittle this point, but but recognizing that reality, I want to make 2021 about finding a nice, comfy, cushy place, warm and in the sunshine, to enjoy the remaining years.
I don't feel like that at all. I'm just looking forward to getting out of this. I'd like to just get past this, and for her and I to be able to go out and have a dinner.
Okay. So you want to get back to normal, basically.
Yeah. Some sort of normal, I'm not so much interested in this vaccine as much as I'm interested in a medicine that'll keep me from dying if I get it.
Okay, I'll keep you from dying if you get the vaccine. If you get the virus.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So is the vaccine available now in Japan yet?
No. You said the vaccine's coming in February, babe? February, March, something like that? Yeah, they're shooting for March.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's going to be a while. Well, yeah. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah.
So you want to, so 2021, hoping for normalcy. You want to be healthy, in terms of, and being able to have something to help you if you get the virus.
Right. And it would be so great if Netflix got Frasier.
Well, there you go. I got your priorities.
Yeah. Now, speaking of, can I throw something in here?
Of course.
Speaking of TV shows, I was talking about 2.5 Men the last time we were on here, and I told you that there was a shot in the show that they show almost every time, and I thought I had found it on Google Earth. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, the spot that they were showing in LA,
right.
in Malibu.
Right. So anyway, I had what you call it?
Syphilis?
I had seen it. Yeah, I had seen it, and the like I said, it's supposed to be in Malibu, and I had seen this shot, and I thought, oh, I wonder if that's really in Malibu. So I went looking for it on Google Earth, and as you know, with Google Earth, it could be, or I'm sorry, not Google Earth, but with the TV show, a shot like that could be anywhere in the world. It doesn't necessarily have to be Malibu, right? But I went looking, and I think I found this spot, and I wanted to ask you, basically, if I'm looking at the right spot, because I can't match up the buildings for some reason. Jesus Christ.
Did you fart?
No, the wind. Oh my God.
Really?
Like the house.
Evolved Blessing says, don't be so hard on yourself, Kurt. The older we get, the more junk gets filled up in our heads. That's all. It's not us or our age. It's just everyday life dumping in our brains. LOL. Yeah, that may be the case, but I definitely do think my faculties are definitely on the decline.
Oh yeah, I find myself forgetting stuff all the time.
Yeah, well, I can't believe it's how I can't remember things. I mean, I used to be able to pick up new words just like that. I'd look it up once, and I'd have it for the rest of my life. And I have to look it up over and over. It just doesn't stick. It's like stuff doesn't stick in the head anymore.
Right.
And oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, I work with 35-year-olds and 40-year-olds. They can run rings around me.
Oh,
the
sure.
circles around me. Bam, bam, bam. I'm the old man.
Sure.
And,
okay, Kurt, here is the screen. Oh, sorry.
Tokyo says, woo, Molly, I got your book in the mail, Kurt. Thanks a lot. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad you got it, Tokyo. Cool. It's adding Jim's picture. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So there's the shot from the TV show. I just took a picture with my phone off the
Okay.
TV screen there. Okay. So there's that. And let's see, how am I going to get
Yeah, that looks like that real exclusive community where that murder happened.
Okay, so notice that little plot of beach behind them with that
Yeah.
little water, the little blue water behind the houses there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now I'm going to stop this picture and I'm going to switch over to Googly Earth.
Mm.
Okay, share screen.
We lost it. We lost it on the screen. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You're switching to the other app.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let me display it. Hold on. Here we go.
Okay. Tell me when.
I see it. We see it.
Okay. Okay. Here we go.
There's.
Okay. So this is what I found. Let me turn it a little bit this way. This is what I was talking about from here.
Mm.
See, it's got that little plot of beach behind it in the waterway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
assuming that it's,
And there's Highway 1 right there, Pacific Coast Highway.
So do you think I'm in the right spot?
Oh, absolutely. That's absolutely.
Okay.
That's definitely the place. Sorry, I barked into the mic. It was really loud.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
That's absolutely the spot.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I just, because I'm looking at these buildings here and I can't see anything that resembles that, but I can't get this on a level where I can see them straight on. I can just see them from above.
Right. You can't get to the beach. Maybe on YouTube, maybe there's videos of people strolling in front of the Malibu houses. That might be a
right.
Yeah, but
now,
you're definitely there.
Now, Kurt, do we have time for me to do one thing? Because this is remember I told you last week I've got something.
Sure. I smelled dinner cooking. So
okay.
Just
okay. This is the site. This is in Fujieda in Shizuoka. Okay. Remember we were talking about the castle grounds. You can see
right. The ring.
Right. You can see that kind of stuff, right? This site here was an old train station back in up until about I think they closed it around in the late 60s.
Oh, really?
Okay. It used to be here, and there was a train line that went from here to Fujieda Station.
Are the rails still there?
No, it's all gone.
Because I know Japan sometimes will make that into like a bikeway or something like that.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to show you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, the train would come up through here, and the station is let's see. Fujieda Station is, let's see, to come across, where is it? Up here somewhere.
X-Dog the Boy says, just turned 30 and I feel the same as starting. Yeah, definitely. Although does that mean that mine's coming? Evolving blessing mines. What mines? Like go boom mines?
Let's see.
I have my thoughts that this is not only a natural but a necessary process, that we old folks are the repository of the village memory of the past, and it's our job to recycle that information back for the benefit of the younger. We're the ones that hold the wisdom of what we've known in the past. So basically what I'm saying is that the way my brain is changing, the way our brains are changing, that's designed by well, not by design, but it's been selected for. And it's one of the benefits. It's one of the reasons that old people are still around as long as we are.
Okay, here we go. So sorry. Okay, so this yellow. Can you see my cursor?
I can. Yeah.
Okay, so this is where the old station was.
Uh-huh.
And this would run up to Fujieda Station here. And then the Fujieda station, they would take it out. You would change trains, and then you could get a train down to Omiyazaki, which is what down here, right?
Okay, one line, right?
Yeah,
And this is like a private line that ran just that distance from
yeah.
Omiyazaki.
It ran from Fujieda down to Omiyazaki.
I think that the name for this, I may be wrong, Jim. Check with Tomoko, but I think Yumiko taught me the name for that kind of line is a chin chin densha. No, literally. I know it sounds like penis.
Oh, really?
The chin chin stands for the chin chin, the bell.
Honey, do you know Chin Chin Densha? Would the Sunen be that? Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, Kurt. So here, what I thought you would find interesting about this is, especially looking at it from above, all this whole area here, this was, rice fields. So if you go back in here, there are no old homes in this area.
Right.
They're all within
60s, 70s, 80s, 90s things.
Yeah, exactly. There's no 100-year-old homes here. If they are, they're very spotty,
Or you know what they are? They're those big estate homes like you would see, like they've got all the outbuildings and stuff because they serve the farms, right? It was the farmer's house.
Exactly.
But they're just here and there, right?
Right. Now, here's what would happen. So the train would go from here and it would cut across here.
Yeah.
And you can see where it cuts through here.
But yeah. The old line, right?
It would cut through here.
And back then, it was more following the landscape, contours of the landscape than anything else, right?
Yep, comes through here.
Yep, I see.
And you can see in this long straight line where the train would run, right? Comes up through here. Now, what they had done is where that train station was, they had moved the building after that closed down. They relocate. There used to be a station here on the corner, on this corner, and they moved this building back to over here, and somebody built a home here.
Oh, but is the old station still there?
The old station was there until just a few years ago. The guy died.
He was living in the old station?
No, he owns this house. There it is. There's the old station building. The picture's old.
Oh no, I see. Yeah. Okay.
This was the old station, and this was the entrance here. So this was the front of the station. Now, and you can see where the train line was right here.
Absolutely, you see the tracks, or at least the impression of them, right?
Yeah.
Those are the rails. Are the rails there, or are they just in?
No. It would have been right here where this walking path is.
Oh, okay. So, I see. That's the sidewalk. But so those are not the remnants of the rails there.
No, this is where the sewage.
Oh, right. The gutter.
Yeah.
The Japanese gutter. Yeah, rainwater.
Okay.
And then
so the guy.
go
ahead.
I was going to say, so that's where the rails would have been, where that bike path.
Yeah, where this little path is. Yeah. So anyway, the guy that built this house here, he owns this, and the station. This building was here, and they moved it back to here, and then he built his home here. And this he used for so many years as his sign shop. You can see he's kind of got stuff up here, and he would make signs in here. So anyway, turns out that the guy that owned this, the lady that lives 3 or 4 doors up the street from us, was his classmate.
Oh.
So I said to her, we got talking about this train one day. And I said, that station's over there, blah, blah, blah. And she said, yeah. She said, I know him. And so anyway, so she called him and asked him if we could come over. So we went over there, and he took us inside that little station building. Now it's all been gutted, and there's nothing that looks like station there, but you could see inside. Oh, okay. Well, this is where you would have bought your tickets, and I don't know, just the layout and everything. And he was showing us, this was here and this was here, and there was a fire, and you can see the burn up there and the blah, blah, blah. So I thought that was really cool, to go through that. And then he took us along the line, and so we're here. Well, see, you can see it's an empty lot now, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to pin this just to, and then I'll mark what it is later. So anyway, so you follow this path, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see it right along here.
Oh, I just got called to dinner. Yeah.
Okay,
just a second.
So it comes up through here. Now, once you get up to here, there's a slight upgrade. It starts from here. I'll get down to the street view real quick. There's a slight upgrade. This starts to go up the hill here.
Right.
And there used to be a very small, like just a platform right here, where people could get on the train. The train would run this green line here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, there used to be there was a little small thing here that showed where the station was, or the platform. But anyway, what he told us was on rainy days, the train couldn't get up this hill. So
really?
So the neighbors would come out and push.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, they would push it up. They would push it up this little hill, right?
Oh man.
And then once it got up here, we're heading towards, and this is the part I can't figure out, Kurt, for the life of me. I cannot figure this out. But there's a bridge here. Now, this is a walking bridge now. This is the Rainbow Bridge. It's not far from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
It would go across this bridge. The train would come across this bridge, and then somehow it made this turn. I don't know how it made the turn, but it would come off this bridge and come down here, and then it would follow this line. Well, you can see it here. You can see the right. It would follow this straight street. See this straight line right here.
Mm-hmm.
It would follow this all the way up to here, blah 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 blah, come up through here, and then it would cut over it would come up through here,
mm-hmm.
and cut across and over to Fujieda Station.
Wow. Cool.
And then you would change trains.
I gotta go, Jim.
Okay.
Because the family's waiting for me.
Okay.
So maybe we can carry this off next time. You can tell me.
Yeah. Sure.
Cool. Great. I'm gonna just wrap up the comments here real quick. I know what you mean about the Minds Coming. The book, yes, the books it might be on its way. Evolved Blessing. If it's not, it means they haven't got it shipped out yet. And then Micah, Chin Chin Densha, your friends will love it. Awesome. Sorry to have to run, Jim, but when Yumiko puts the dinner on the table, they're sitting at the table waiting for me.
No worries. If I'd gotten here 30 minutes earlier, right?
There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good one, and next time we talk, I think it'll be in the new year. So
okay. All right.
All right.
See you, Kurt.
Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.
Yeah. Bye.